Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Loyum Yahweh Ba'asham, Yahweh Shai Ba'asham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, the teachers of Israel. Salutations to the Akim and the four winds, the hopeful elect. The elect, salute to the elect, right? To the Israelite foreigners whose phenotype may look like another nation, whose bloodline goes back to Israel, will come back to the fold. Shalom to Sister Akwaf, listening and learning. In silence, Shalom. This your brother Ram Yahawada with the lesson. And Ezekiel chapter 1, I'm going to go 4. And I looked, and behold, which means feast your eyes upon, pay attention, a whirlwind, which is a chariot, what they call UFOs, or unidentified flying phenomenon, came out of the north, a great cloud, which is a chariot, UFO, unidentified flying phenomenon, right? And a fire enfolding itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, right? Out of the midst of the fire, right, coming out of the chariot, out of the vessel, as also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of four living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man, right? So these are men, basically, that look like men. And every one had four faces, and every one had four wings, right? And that don't mean they actually had four faces. It just, it's the characteristics of the angels, right? And it says, and their feet were straight feet, like the soles of their feet were straight feet, and the soles of their feet were like the soles of a calf's foot, right? So I don't know if you back in the day used to have those ninja karate shoes where it split in the middle. That's basically what they had on, right? And they sparkled like the color of burnished brass, right? So when you go into what Revelation, it tell you that who the world calls Jesus Christ is, his color is what, of a burnt brass, right? So that's a dark-skinned so-called black man. So this is describing the angels right here as black men, right? And they had hands of a man, and under their wings, right, which is talking about the chariots, and their 4 feet, and their 4 had the faces, and their wings, right, which is talking about the windows in the chariot, right? And their wings were joined together, right? Because when you go, the chariots fly, they fly like birds, right? They're joined together. When one goes, the other one goes. They fly like a bird in migration, right? And their wings joined together, one to another. They turn not when they went every one straight forward. As for the likeness of their faces, they 4 had the face of a man, right? And the face of a lion, right? And on the right side, right, which is talking about the characteristics. You know what I mean? And they four had the faces of an ox, the left side, and therefore also had the face of an eagle, which is just, like I said, it's just speaking about the characteristics. People read this and they get into something freaky. Oh my God, it's like this crazy. No, it's a man, but this is their characteristics. You know what I mean? The angels, but looks like a man, right? And thus were their faces and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings of every one were joined one to another, Slakia, and 2 covered their bodies, right? Right. Like I said, this is just talking about the formation of the chariots. It's not talking about actual wings and all this other stuff. And they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go, and they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coal of fire, right? Coal is normally black, but then when you burn it, it lights up, has that basically like a brass, like orange brass looking color, but it's like lit. It's like, so basically saying it's like burnt brass. You know what I mean? And the likeness and like the appearance of a lamp, right? See, it went up and down, which is talking about the chariots and the living creatures. And the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning, right? Talking about the chariots, what they call UFOs, unidentified flying phenomenons, which is basically just speaking of how the fire and how it can move like lightning, can go back and forth. This is mostly just talking about the chariots. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of flashing light, right? We're talking about the chariots. The chariots can, boom, get out of here, disappear, come back, right? And now, as I behold the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, right? One of the chariots was hovering with his 4 faces, which are talking about the windows of the chariots. It was hovering, and the windows had 4 windows, and probably had 4 faces, 4 people looking out of it. All right. And the appearance of the wheel and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and the 4 had the one likeness, and the appearance of their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel, which is talking about the chariots, right? And most of this is not actually talking about the angels per se, besides the part where it was saying that they were burnt brass, right? Or the color of coal, right? Which is letting you know that coal is dark, it's black, it's dark, you know what I mean? So the angels are so-called black people, right? But this is talking about the chariots. A chariot with a wheel inside of a wheel.
This is Dabu 7. It's been a while since we've took a deep dive out in space and looked at things floating around out there that raise some questions. Now we have a massive object that is making its way through the stereo ahead HI2. I'm going to hit start and you're going to see this. Ladies and gentlemen, I've covered a lot of stuff throughout all the years. Things by the sun, broad daylight, off of satellite imagery. I've never witnessed an object of this size making its way through space, caught on the cam, and it seems like when they pick this up right around frame 160, they cut it out. You're going to see it makes it right out here, right out to about here, and then they're going to cut it. This is Earth. That is Earth right there, Terra. See? Gone. They clip it. That's what happens. So here it comes into the frame. It actually sneaks in behind this right here. And you're going to see it's like a huge wheel. It is insane. Perfectly circular. And it's like a cross. With a circle in the middle. Zooming in here so you can see it better. And I'm going to take it through a couple frames. This is just amazing. I'm going to leave a clip. You guys can go to February 20th, I believe, is where I started this on the HI2. And you guys can go through it yourself. You can see this massive object. Let me back it up there. That is super defined. Look at that. This is creeping through space right now. Caught on the HI2, and then they cut the feed. Real deal, massive object. The distance, we don't know. Okay? But I'm just going to tell you this. It is massive. It is intelligence. Right there. This isn't just some asteroid. So keep making excuses for some of you that keep sticking your head back in the sand. There's a reason they announced a space force. And for all you that believe space is fake, they have damaged you to hell and back. This is Dabu 7. If you want some more goods, meet me over on D Live where I break this down even further.
This is H4818.
Strong's H4818. Merkava.
Merkava. Right? And then it just says chariot. Chariot, and gives scriptures on chariot, and right here. Oh, especially war chariot. Hey, and that's basically what these are. These are war chariots. Yeah, Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1. And I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, which means feast your eyes upon, there came 4 chariots, which are vehicles, right, out from between 2 mountains, which are chariots too. But these are basically flying chariots that's bigger, and he described these bigger chariots as mountains, right, of brass. And the first chariot were red horses, which is symbolizing power, and in the second chariot, black horses, right, which are the angels, symbolizing power, right, because these are these are all the angels, which are black men, right? But the certain horses represent certain different powers, right? Because these are the angels that, as they're pouring out the 7 vials, they're implementing those things within the earth, right? And in the 3rd chariot, white horses, and in the 4th chariot, grizzle and bay horses, right? And I answered and said unto the angel that told me, what are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go forth and stand before the Lord of all the earth. The black horses which which therein go forth into the north country, right? And the white go forth after them, and the grizzled go forth towards the south, and the bay go forth and sought to go, that they might walk to and fro through the earth, and say, get you hence, walk to and fro through the earth. So they walk to and fro through the earth. Now, are they actually walking? No, it's the chariots. So they're going to and fro, like you've seen the Phoenix Lights. The Lord said that His eyes are upon the sinful kingdom, which goes through these chariots that's going to and fro, right? And these chariots came out of these 2 flying mountains, right? Then cried he upon me and spake unto me, saying, behold, these that go forth to the north country have quiet my spirit in the north country. Until what? Until the day, the time of the battle, right? When it's time, because now that you're seeing these chariots so much, Esau know that he got but a short time, right?
If there are craft, there are beings.
Okay, people have asked me about, I call them vehicles, okay?
Right.
Now, I did not call them objects. That was too neuter for me.
Okay.
I had a Stanford professor say, you ought to call them objects. No. They have all the qualities of a vehicle. Mm-hmm. They can move. They're just like a missile or anything like that. So that much we can say about them, for sure.
Okay.
So I'm calling them in.
Okay.
Okay, somebody comes along and says, well, now where would you manufacture one that's 2.5 Earth lengths long? And that's a hard question to answer.
So are you not positing the idea that those vehicles contain, beings who are, maybe like us?
Yeah, I only go along with government images. And if you want to know about people kind of thing. There is the ship that picked up the Voyager capsule at Alameda Naval Shipyard, and they have a picture there of I think it's the Apollo flight that Bugs and Neil were on. But anyway, there is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
Have you heard about Clark McClellan's statement about that?
No.
Oh, you haven't? Have you ever been in touch with him?
No.
No?
There is one image there that shows black people getting off.
So people with dark skin getting off.
Not dark, black.
Black skin.
Really black. Yeah.
Were they tall?
Yes.
Very tall?
Yeah.
How tall? Do you know?
Well, they got out the doorway. I don't know how high that is, but
Well, what?
safe. 7 feet would be probably a conservative estimate.
It's 2 Ezra chapter 13, verse 1. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night, and lo, there arose a wind from the sea, right? Which means this time it's from the sky, right? Mayam, right? Which is waters, but the water is talking about the Mayam from the sky, from the water, from the sky, that it moved all the waves thereof. And behold, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven, right, which is talking about the angels, the other chariots. When he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that were seen under him, right? So that goes to Revelation chapter 1, verse 7, right? And whensoever the voice went of his mouth, all they burnt that heard his voice, right? The Lord's hitting him with concentrated fire from the laser beam from his chariot, right? And you get burnt up, turned into powder, right? Like as the earth faileth when it filleth with fire, right? Because the Lord said, how will I, if the earth, if it already be kindled, right? I come with fire, though the earth already be kindled. No, roughly paraphrasing, very roughly paraphrasing, but basically the Lord said that. And after this I behold, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men, right? So all these nations, right? Because he know that he got but a short time. So all these nations, multitude of men out of number from the four winds, so all over the world of heaven, which is this talking about, this heaven is talking about the earth, to subdue the man that came out of the sea, which is Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Like I said, go back to Revelation 1 and 7, and it's talking about who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, which his real name is Yahushua, and all nations and kindreds are going to wail because of him. They're going to be afraid. That's what it is. You know what I mean? You heard the story, you heard the thing, and after a while, you stopped believing. You thought it was just a fairy, or it wasn't for you to believe. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo until that day. When the day happens, that's when they're gonna tremble, they're gonna fear, they're gonna gather, try to fight against, try to subdue him that came out of the sea, which is talking about out of heaven, out of the Shemayim, out of the outer atmosphere. But I beheld, and lo, he given himself a great mountain. Now, going back to Zechariah, right? 6 said there were 2 flying mountains, right? 2 mountains. And chariots came out of these other chariots that were mountains, which had to be flying, right? Because these are flying chariots, what they call IFO, or well, we call them IFOs, but they call them UFOs, or they call them unidentified flying phenomenon, aerial phenomenon, right? Unidentified aerial phenomenon, right? But these are identified aerial phenomenons, which are the chariots of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. And but he given himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So going back to, like I said, Zechariah, right? And but I would have seen the region or place where out the hill was given and could not. So Esdras was looking around like, where did that come from? It came from the Shemayims. Couldn't see where it came from because it came from, from the Shemayims. Yeah, and could not. And after this, I beheld, and lo, they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, right? Like, everybody's going to be afraid in that day. And yet there's fight, which really the Lord's going to put the spirit on them to fight. Like the elder apostle Gabar always so elegantly say, because who would fight that? Like, who would fight in order but the spirit to take hold of your controllers, or give you the spirit to give you the dumbness to think that you could actually win. You know what I mean? A man's going is of the Lord, right? How can a man then understand his own way? Yeah, you joined that military for a reason, for that very purpose, that you could be destroyed by Yahweh Shai through the power of Yahweh. Right? By Yahweh Shai through the power of Yahweh. Right? And lo, the multitude, and lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, right out of the chariot, like you see in the movie Independence Day. In the bottom of that chariot, it opens up and it shoots out and just burns everything, devastation to everything that's underneath it for miles and miles and miles and miles, right? That's the same thing right here. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he casts out sparks and tempests, right? And and that's going to be the Lord's sword. That, because I think in Revelation it says that he had a sword in his mouth. Well, that's the sword. Is going to be out of his mouth is that that sparks and tempest, which is laser from heaven. Because Esau got laser beams, but this is laser beams from heaven. No comparison, right?
Here is a real issue from a religious point of view, and I don't want to get into religion. Okay. But let me explain something. What happens if these people that we all know exist, these critters, these grays, whatever you call them, what if they're not subject to original sin? And this is what the Vatican talks about. The Vatican's been talking about this forever. What if these are, in fact, the Vatican's called them angels? What if these are, in fact, the Vatican's called them angels? What if these are, in fact, the Vatican's called them angels? What if these are truly God's chosen people? What if these are truly God's chosen people?
Time, at least here in Arizona, today marking 21 years since the Phoenix Lights first appeared in the sky. To this day, nobody really knows what they were or where they came from.
It's been that long, huh? This weekend you can relive.
Yeah, this is Amos chapter 9, verse 8. Behold, which means feast your eyes upon, look, pay attention, the eyes of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, starting with Yahweh, then to Yahushai, and of course the angels of the Lord, power, are upon the sinful kingdom, right? And who's ruling the world? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. Job 9 and 24, right? Esau's ruling the wicked. Malachi chapter 1 verse 4, right? Esau is the border of wickedness, right? Which in the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So we know that Esau, self-proclaimed white man, is the border of wickedness, and the earth is given into his hands, right? And the sinful kingdom. And then what's crazy about this is in the chapter where it talks about them hiding in their bunkers, right? When they go into though they dig into hell, right? Though you go into your underground bunkers and try to hide from the destruction of the Lord, and the Lord God is right underneath this. Behold, the eyes of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth. You know what I'm saying? Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, which are the Israelites, vocab Malone, or any other Christian so-called apologists, which don't make sense because it's about Jacob. He's going to save the house of Jacob. They shall not utterly be destroyed. Saith Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai. Right? So with all that, I'd like to give all praises and all honor and all glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well. Salutations to the Akim in the four winds, preaching in truth and sincerity. The hopeful elect, the elect, salute to the Israelite foreigners who phenotype may look like another nation, but bloodline goes back to Israel and have come back to the fold. Shalom. To Sister Akwaf, listen in silence. Shalom, death to America.